I'm going to go ahead and call the meeting to order with a roll call vote. In person today, we have Tom Crouch. Here.
Present.
Rebecca Lytle.
Present.
Virtually, we have Mark Sanders.
Present.
Steve Hall.
Present.
Desmond Woods.
Present.
Larry Calloway.
Present.
And myself, Renee Rafflet, in person. We do have two representatives for the petitioner, Brett and John, on the line virtually. I'm going to need a motion for the approval of the minutes for the June 16th, 2020 meeting.
So move. This is Tom.
Second. This is Steve.
And we'll do a roll call vote. Tom Crouch,
Yes.
Rebecca Lytle,
Yes.
Mark Sanders,
Yes.
Steve Hall,
Yes.
Desmond Woods.
Yes.
Thank you. And for the, everybody needs to do the oath. So I'm just going to read it, and I'm going to call everybody's name, and you'll just say agree. And give me 1 second here while I pull that up.
You're doing a great job, Renee.
Thanks. I thought I had it open, but I didn't, so bear with me 1 second here. Anyone wishing to speak tonight, do you swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? You'll answer with I do. Let's go with Tom Crouch.
No, we don't.
No, we don't.
You
know.
guys don't. I'm
No, we
sorry.
don't.
Brett
Yes, ma'am.
will you answer with I do?
I do.
And John?
I do.
Thank you. Do we have any special requests, withdrawals, or waivers tonight? Okay, hearing none, we're going to move on to old business. Petitions 20 LSV 067606 Pendleton Pike, a variance of development standards of 744-404 A1A, 744-504, and 744-505A for the front yard and parking lot frontage landscaping requirements along Sellers Street frontage, as well as the location of the proposed drive aisle limits. Petitioner, if you'd like to present your case.
Sure. Thank you. Again, my name is John Scheidler. I'm with Wolpert. I spoke to everyone at the meeting last month on this item. We're the consulting engineer for Bank of America. And again, this is a proposed Bank of America financial center to be located at 7606 Pendleton Pike. Site is currently the Papa's Restaurant, which is recently closed, and the bank is proposing to redevelop this site with a 3,700 square foot Bank of America building and the associated parking lot that we had reviewed last time. And the variance request was read off, and as you recall, it was motion was it was voted last month to be continued so that we would have additional conversation with other representatives of the City of Lawrence about future plans of Sellers Street, since this variance does impact the right-of-way of Sellers Street. So we had a phone meeting with both Dan Zerner, the Director of Economic Development, and Sri Nagapalan, the Director of Engineering, and we provided the plan that we had reviewed at the BZA last month and discussed the impact of Sellers Street, and just found out what how this might impact any future plans they are aware of or have planned for Solar Street, but sounds like there is some other development in the works, in the area on Solar Street, so they have a good idea of what the future plans are. But, and they also provided, hopefully everybody received a letter dated July 6th, that both of them sent all the BZA members. So obviously they're showing their support, that they don't have any issues or concerns, and they support this variance request. So hopefully that answers the questions that were brought up at the end of the last meeting. That was the purpose for continuing the item. I'd be happy to answer any other questions, but again, hopefully we have for your consideration for the variance. Thank you.
Does the board have any questions at this time?
Does the board have any questions at this time? Larry, did you have any?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, this is Steve Hall. So as I understand it, you made no changes to what was presented last month. Is that correct?
Actually, one minor change, and this was at the suggestion of both Mr. Zerner and Mr. Benegopolin. The landscaping plan shows there's shrubs, there's no trees, but shrubs along that thin strip between the curb and Solar Street edge of pavement. And during our conversation, we all kind of agreed that it would be better for maintenance and visibility and everything if those were just eliminated and we just provided sod there. So we did make that change, and I provided that plan to both of those gentlemen, and they were happy with that. Other than that, there's been no changes.
So still no plans for a sidewalk along Solar Street?
No, there's, given the existing limits of Solar Street and the required drive width in our site plan, there's not room for a efficient sidewalk along there.
And this is Renee, just to interject in here. When the city met with John and our Dan and Sri, it was decided that there's not going to be sidewalks along any other part of Sellers when we redesign that. And we didn't want this project to install sidewalks.
Okay, thank you.
So the brushes around that one side
Uh-huh.
are gone?
Yeah. It'll be grass instead of brush. Did any other members have questions? Larry, did you have anything to add?
Well, our position is the same. I mean, actually, it's some of the changes have kind of made the request even worse by removing what little bit of thing was being proposed, which was in the right of way anyway. Others, going to be no which gets to the whole point of the site not being adequate to accommodate the use. And I would also just reiterate that the sidewalks are required by the ordinance. They will run into that in filing for an ILP, so they'll really need a variance for the sidewalks. And I believe the project, that I saw it, across the street was going to have sidewalks along Sellers, their old project. Anyway, so like I said, our position stays the same. We still recommend denial of the petition because we believe it's overdeveloping the lot.
Okay. Can we add the sidewalk variance to this petition, or do they have to file again and amend? Larry, that question was for you.
I mean, they really should have advertised it. I mean, it's kind of, well, I mean, this is kind of where you need a board attorney to weigh in, but when it started, they were proposing landscaping in the right of way and drives, and they weren't, it was clear they weren't providing sidewalks in the right of way. It's facto approved, if variance. So, and it's one of those kind of arguments. Does the board feel that that issue has been properly addressed? The concern has been sort of publicly, that the public has been aware of that concern as much as wanted to be aware of that concern.
Okay.
I would think if
Yeah,
we
I-
put sidewalks, it should have been advertised.
No, yes.
Okay. So the president of
Like I
the,
said,
I don't
the board
know.
feels comfortable that they have approved that, sort of like you said, de facto, by granting the rest of the request. I mean, then that's viewed on that basis, I think.
okay, you're cutting out pretty bad, so you're saying,
No, so,
it's all right, technological problems, it's to be expected, I guess. So I just want to make sure I understand. You're of the opinion that they would need to file an amendment to the petition for the elimination of sidewalks and landscaping in the right-of-way and advertise that.
yeah, generally, that's what you'd have to do. Like I said,
Okay.
unless the board felt comfortable that they had sort of de facto approved it by granting all this other stuff, granting, you know, the driveway in the right of way and the landscaping grass in the right of way and did not require a sidewalk as part of that. So it just comes down to a technicality that was it clear to the public that there was to be no sidewalk. Per the site plan, it was clear. And if that was available, then one could argue that. But like I said, it's where a board attorney should be there to sort of weigh in on that kind of
Okay.
issue. I know some in the past have felt that those kind of things were appropriately dealt with in that manner, but it's not for me to say definitely that it's okay.
Okay. I'm going to kind of leave it up to the board on what you want to do. I will let you know that the City of Lawrence redevelopment and our city engineer and council member Rusamarov are all in support of the petition. As secretary, I have not had any contact from the public questioning the petition, remonstrating for or against the petition. I mean, it was advertised last month for the hearing in June. It was advertised again for the hearing in July. It's up to the board what you would want to do.
Yeah, is a motion in order?
A motion to continue or a motion?
No, a motion to make it a de facto approval of no sidewalks.
Yes.
So
I
I'd
would
like to make that motion
Okay,
With sidewalks or without?
without.
okay.
And, you know, and to make it clear, you might just want to add a condition or something to say that no sidewalks will be required or you know, along Cellar Street as part of the approval or something. I don't know.
Okay, I will make sure that I include that. Do we have a second to proceed with the petition as it is to include no sidewalk on Cellar Street?
I can second it.
Okay, we have a second by Becky Lytle. And I'll need a vote by roll call. We're going to do Tom Crouch,
Yes?
Rebecca Lytle,
Yes.
Mark Sanders,
Nay.
Steve Hall,
Yes.
Desmond Woods.
Yes.
Okay, so the motion does pass. Larry, did you have anything else to add?
No, thank you.
Okay. All right, and I've already stated the City of Lawrence position is in support without the sidewalks. Councilperson Rusa Maroff is in support of the petition. Petitioner, did you have anything else to add?
I do not, but thank you very much.
Okay, is the board ready to vote?
Yes?
Okay, we're going to do a roll call vote. Rebecca Lytle,
Yes.
Tom Crouch,
Yes?
Mark Sanders,
Yes.
Steve Hall,
Nay.
and Desmond Woods.
Yes.
Okay, the motion does pass. The petition for variance of development standards of 744-404A1, 744-504, 744-505A for the front yard and parking lot frontage landscaping requirements along Sellers Street frontage, as well as the location of the proposed drive aisle limits and no sidewalks along Sellers Street has been approved. The City of Lawrence Board of Zoning Appeals is now adjourned.
Thank you, Renee.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good night.
Thank you.